It is time for FRIEDDIRT versus Goro, Habitation Station, game number 2. Let's do this. Now, Habitation Station is another map where you can hide things in interesting places. We may see that, we may not. Regardless, in the top right of the map here on Habitation Station, it is our green Protoss looking to take this game so we can stay in this show match. It is Goro. In the top left, we have his opponent, sporting the orange colors and the orange and the Protoss pieces as well. It is none other than FRIEDDIRT. So, I mean, the big things in this map that everybody talks about: short air distance from here to here. The mains can be hit pretty easy in this way, as you can see. And of course, the gold bases. Gold bases are another big feature on this map. The thing is, I don't think you're going to see Protoss going for a fast gold base against another Protoss very often. It can work, I guess. I've just never seen it really done much. What tends to happen a lot on this map, though, is we get a huge amount of Phoenix play. Air, Oracle, Void Ray, very, very strong here, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw some more of that. Goro already showed some interest in going for an Oracle play last time. He may do that again, he may not. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, it looks like we have a Gateway plopping down on 13 for our orange player, and for our green, same basic thing. So, not timed out exactly the same, but it looks as if they're going for a similar thought process here. Except that Goro is actually trying to wall off at the front. Now, this is not something you do much in PvP, not because it's necessarily bad, but because it creates certain vulnerabilities to things like 4 gates. If they can get the stalkers here and start pecking away at buildings here, that can actually turn the tide of the favor in the 4-gating player's hands, even though he might not usually be able to get away with it. Especially because the buildings in this particular spot actually not covered by the photon overcharge. So the photon overcharge might help with holding off a 4-gate ordinarily on normal maps. On this one, it doesn't do quite as well. So that may come into play here, but neither player looks as if they're going to be taking advantage of that anytime soon. In fact, I don't think our orange Protoss has actually scouted at all yet. It looks like he's going to be relying on the mothership core for that, or he's just going to fly blind. We'll see. 2 guys in gas from Goro. This is the typical setup for the stalker pressure, kind of scout my opponent to do something else, by the way. But it can also be used to disguise any other play. Oracle, DT, whatever. It's a very refined way of approaching things. FRIEDDIRT really gets this gas late. I'm going to ask him about this in the interview, because I actually don't see people do this a lot, and I'm not sure if this is a mistake, or, you know, like, maybe he gets something I don't about the way this matchup works, and that's entirely possible, guys. I definitely do not know everything. Goro, on the other hand, has been really active with the scouting. I really like that a lot. There's the second gas. Pretty late. You know, oh, I think I know what this is. He's setting up to go for a fast expand. Now, he has way too many minerals at the moment. So there's probably just a little bit of a macro error going on here. He might want to, maybe the build says to get the mothership core before you get the base, but he can actually do both right now. So that's probably just a slight error, but I think that's the reason he's grabbing the second gas. It's like there's pretty much only 2 reasons you delay the second gas for that long, which is either you're going to 4-gate and you don't want the second gas because you want to get the 4-gate up as quick as possible and then just focus on Stalker Zealot production. But the other reason too is that you can use that to grab a Nexus. Unfortunately, again, like unlike this play, it doesn't really disguise it in any way. And it looks like Goro's just going to go into, I think, a straight 4-gate this time. I don't see anything trying to hide a pylon anywhere. And he's actually just going to push up the ramp, this time with a Stalker and a Zealot, plus the Mothership Core in play. This is actually a pretty nice position for Goro here. Let's see what damage he can get done with this. He's going to push forward, try and take out the Stalkers, pushing it back with the Zealot, and actually I think both players have a chance of losing their Stalker here. But ooh, the Mothership Core's actually gotten way too far in, though. And yeah, we're having another kind of awkwardly neutral situation where the players, I think, they're gonna trade some blows and then back off. So this is actually looking a lot like a carbon copy of the previous game, and if we look, the only really big difference seems to be the tech choice for Goro. We don't see... Are we going to see a Stargate? Am I underestimating you, Goro? Are you going to Stargate 4-gate thing again? Because, you know, if you do it again, I don't really blame you, because you know what you... Oh, okay, that's what he's going to do. Okay. He's going to take the gold. Now, the thing is that I think it was Fade who was mentioning this, like the Warp Prism play. If he goes for that, that would actually be really good here. He'd have a ton of extra minerals for Zealots. He may need a couple more gateways if he wants to pull that off, but it would definitely be a viable option. And that's unfortunately the only real advantage he'd have, because everything else requires gas, and he's not getting any extra gas on a gold base. So there's enough to force field out this army once right here. Oh, if he can get the Mothership Core, that's going to be incredibly key, but he does get the Photon Overcharge off and almost loses his own Mothership Core. Ooh. Yeah, that Time Warp's going to make engaging this spot really hard for a while. But the thing is, he's got to wait for that Photon Overcharge to finish. He can't run in there with an army of this size and actually get anything done. I think you probably want basically twice as many Stalkers if you want to be able to ignore a Photon Overcharge. And even then, you take some serious hits. And now the number of force fields is starting to really increase here. So this, as far as this aggression is concerned, it's probably going to take a little bit of a big error from FRIEDDIRT here. This is... Okay, he's pushing up into the base, trying to take a pot shot at whoever can. Almost loses one Stalker in the process. There it goes. Stalker goes down. And I think this position pretty heavily favors FRIEDDIRT at the moment. Trying to get a probe back to work here. I think he accidentally stuffed that in his control group. And the economic power of FRIEDDIRT's build is actually starting to kick in right now. He just has so much stuff up here that if Goro tries to push in, he's going to have a really hard time. Now, on the other hand, unlike last time, the fact that he's behind on gathering minerals from this location doesn't matter at all, because 3 probes gathering from a gold base is definitely going to beat 4 probes gathering from a normal base. The only thing he's going to be behind on is gas, which means FRIEDDIRT can get upgrades, he can get into other kinds of tech, and he can do it faster than his opponent. We'll see if he tries to take advantage of that here. Nope. Goro's just going to push up there, check for the gold, and move back home. So it looks like we're pretty much done with our early game shenanigans here. And once again, like last time, FRIEDDIRT's Observer is going to be able to get into the space and see whatever the heck it wants, because there's actually nothing to see it. And this could put... I'm interested to see what happens here. He doesn't see this base, and if we hit FRIEDDIRT's vision... Sorry, wrong button. There we go. I had my fingers in the wrong spot. Okay, he did see these 2 pylons here. This should be enough to tip him off that something is going on. He really should keep his eyes open for that. Not populating either of these gases. Goro should get on that pretty soon. He doesn't want to just mine minerals right in that spot. Starting to get that +1 attack out. Not actually scouting with this Observer. Fade wants to see nukes. That's a that's a lot of wishful thinking right there, buddy. I'd love to see nukes in the PvP too. I think it would be interesting just to get that Terran tech, plop it on the Protoss. No, by the way, I was being sarcastic. I don't really want that. Don't worry. I don't want to deal with proxy nukes in PvP. That would be interesting. Anyway, let me close off the selection screen here for a second so we can take a look at both of our players' incomes. Surprisingly enough, Goro is ahead right now. Yes, he did grab that base after him, but because he grabbed the gold, their gas incomes pretty close together. Goro's still a little bit behind on that. Excuse me, but the mineral income actually does favor FRIEDDIRT here. The only thing is, FRIEDDIRT's actually taking a very good angle on this, going for Warp Prism play himself here, and he can get in and get out of this location pretty easily. The army is positioned here to defend, so he's going to be at least able to interrupt this for a bit. Oh, but it's been scouted by this Stalker. Let's see if FRIEDDIRT was actually, with Goro, was actually paying attention to his Warp Prism, to his Stalker that was scouting there. Doesn't look like he was, and the Warp Prism's actually just going to go right here and drop off those Zealots immediately. Is he also going to go into the Warping? Yes, he is. He needs to pull these probes. He needs to do it now. He's going to lose a lot really quickly. He already lost about 5 workers right there, but the Zealots are actually just focusing in on the army now here, so he shouldn't take too much more damage anyway. He did take another probe hit. But that gives Goro still he's now 6 workers behind by the look of it, so it's actually not as far off as it looks. Again, he still somehow has a mineral income advantage, even though he just lost a bunch of probes right there. So that actually probably hurts FRIEDDIRT more than it hurts Goro. He lost an entire Nexus's worth of minerals to kill an ineffectual amount of workers. But the second warping could be key. There is a lot of pylons here to notice this, though. So if he reacts in time, he should be fine. And, oh, double wood. Maybe he wanted to make a triple, but it's going to be double wood ray protection because that's all he's got gas for. 3 Stalkers warping in right here at home, but unfortunately it's DTs, and he's got no detection yet in this base. The DTs are going to annihilate the mineral line, and there's actually nothing up here to stop this just yet. But the Photon Cannon finishes. He did not focus it down in time, and I think there's just enough here to kill. No, there isn't. Is there any detection here? There's going to be in a moment. Okay. So the gold base is at least secured, but this part of the base has basically been demolished, and the DTs are basically just going to continue to go to work on whatever they can find. Probably going to start killing the pylons powering these stargates. Yep. Wants to slow down that as much as he possibly can, and it looks like Goro's response is to say, F it, I'm going to go kill you now. See if you can stop this army. And there's also 2 Void Rays following it. So here we go. Army's going to get to the front. They're definitely going to cancel this base. This army does not want to engage away. Well, okay. Does get the drop on the army here, but there's a couple interesting force fields. I'm not actually sure what those are. Well, both players are just going to force field the crap out of this. Just 2 Void Rays, though. And those 2 Void Rays are going to completely demolish everything. They're just going to tip the entire scales entirely in Goro's favor for just a moment here. He can't push up into the ramp, though, because it's a little bit too much defensive power up there. Could throw down a Time Warp and snag these units, though. It doesn't quite make it. Does get an Immortal for his trouble, and he can cancel this base again. But it looks as if Goro's just saying, I'm not going to cancel your base. I want to kill you, and I'm going to kill you now. He's rushing up into the natural here, and there's actually no Photon Overcharge. We need to see that Photon Overcharge. There you go, buddy. Unfortunately, it's too little too late. The army's actually too large now, and it's just going to run over this location. Really needs to force field this here and then kill this pylon, though. Actually, I don't think it matters. Never mind. He's going to lose the Nexus. He can't save it. And with that, the economic damage has been more or less equalized. But the thing is, can FRIEDDIRT actually hold off this army? I don't think it's going to happen. And no force field there. If he can force field the top of the ramp, that's going to be really good. Okay, guys. Ooh, DTs. Now, one thing about DTs is that they don't shoot up, so this helps because there's no detection in this army. But the 2 Void Rays can still kill everything. If he just sends them right up here, he can actually just kill all the workers. And we may be looking at an awkward base race scenario in a moment. But yeah, he does kill the army here. And unfortunately, this base is still here. So FRIEDDIRT's actually not in as bad a position as he otherwise could be. What? Detection? Nope. Okay, that wasn't a DT. I thought he killed a DT. I'm like, there's no observer. How is he doing that? But, alright. Hacks. Nope, no hacks. Goro's just going to spread assimilators around the map now because his base is getting DT'd. The only thing is, this location is going to be safe. So, for now, from the DTs, there's actually enough here. Like, he should be able to run that over. And Goro's just going to GG. Oh, he got the Void Rays. Okay. Well, there you go. That was a lot closer. A lot closer than it appeared. DTs make Archons Omega. Yes, I know, Kadwa. But usually when you try to morph Archons under flying things, the flying things kill the Archons. So, basically, we would see if he got to that by getting away with it. Well, yeah. Definitely helped out. No doubt. Fast DTs in PvP is actually really strong. The only thing that kind of loses to is Oracles. Though, a lot of things lose to Oracles. I know what you mean. I mean, I know what you're thinking, guys. Let me get this repositioned. Restart the call. Not Tythor. Restart this window. Whoa, let's not do that. My apologies. Alright, good. That's set up. Oh.
So.
I just realized I forgot to close the VOD from Game 2. So I guess the VOD from Game 2 is going to have the post-interview in it. Okay, we'll just let that go. Yay! Production shenanigans. Anyway... good game, guys, especially game number 2. I thought that got very close. I liked it. Good job. And, but we'll get into discussing that in just a moment here.
You that guys, got crazy.
Yeah. So, first off, again, thanks for playing. It's been, it was fun to cast your games today. So, let's go ahead and
Yeah,
talk about them. Game number 1,
fun
Yunsu.
to play.
Let's talk about your approach for these two games. Now, something I noticed interestingly with FRIEDDIRT, is there a specific player that you got that build from? Because it looked like you had everything pretty nicely timed out with that.
That's just sort of what I do. I usually like to get a Nexus as quick as possible. So I try to either one gate expand or two gate expand. I don't know if there's an actual build, but that's just my go-to strategy that I've sort of just formed over playing,
Okay.
and then try to get Colossus. That's just sort of what I get. And just try to keep up on upgrades, expand.
I thought it, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I thought like a lot of elements of it made a lot of sense. Just like the delaying to get the second gas, for example, giving you just enough minerals to switch over. It did look like you had something going with that, but at the same time, like just wanted to know more info because I've never experimented with the fast expand in the PvP, so I'm always happy
Yeah.
to look for more info on that. Goro, what about yours? It looked like that was for game 1. That was Oracle into 4 gate, I think.
Yeah, it was like I didn't really know what I was gonna do, so I just kind of like tried to do a crappy 4 gate with an Oracle, but I my Oracle just kind of died, and then um my 4 gate obviously didn't work out too well because he defended really well,
Sure, sure.
and then he had like 2 bases up, and I was just like, oh, okay, and I just kind of lost.
All right. So here's the thing. Then I would like to hear your thoughts on this. It's basically when this build does work, what do you find that it does well against?
Protoss.
Protoss in
I
general.
don't. Yeah,
So you find a
I
lot of
don't know.
success against maybe roboing players, people going for immortals or other 4Ks.
Well, uh, I don't know. I just usually like every time when I play against Protoss, no one actually tries to like go Nexus first. It's just whoever can all in
That's
better.
true. It is
And
it is rare to see it.
yeah,
Especially,
and
well,
then
I
I
mean,
find
yeah.
that's just what works the best. So
Okay, okay.
yeah.
I think that may be what throws people off because I don't like to. I'm more of a late game player. I don't like the early game as much.
Hmm.
I like the later stages, so I think that may throw people off. Me expanding quick. I don't know.
All right, cool. Now, um, let me see. Is there any thoughts you guys had about that specific game that you want to bring up, or should we move on?
I got nothing.
You got
Yeah,
nothing.
I'm pretty good.
Cool. All right, habitation station. Basically the same build from FRIEDDIRT. I don't think we need unless you varied something I didn't notice. Did you?
Well, I usually don't get the DTs, but I just thought like, hey, I'll try some
Well,
DTs
I mean,
out.
I know you eventually went there. I'm just talking about
Yeah,
grabbing the
but the
Nexus and
opening,
then
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing with PvP is
opening.
I kind of like divide it into two sections. What do you start with, and then what do you do after you figure out what he's doing? So,
Oh, yeah.
like, we'll get there. But and then it looked like a more pure 4 gate from you, Goro.
Oh yeah, it's just I know 4 gate's not really good, but I just lately I just haven't been knowing what to do in PvP, so I just went 4 gate, and I that didn't work again either because he defended really well, and then he got his base up again, so I thought I'd just expand to the gold first to
Okay.
maybe like catch up, and that
Okay.
worked out pretty well. But then he got the DTs, and then I was like, oh shoot, and then I just kind of
Sure. Sure.
lost.
Yeah, DTS is a it's a good response from there. I mean, I think um, actually, well, I think after we're done with the broadcast, I can talk to you a little bit about. I liked what you were doing in the first game. I think if you adjusted one little thing, it actually could have. It would have been a lot closer. Let's just put it that way. I don't know exactly what would have happened because it always comes down to some extent micro, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually think with that game, I don't think the 4 gate is necessarily bad to play, like especially at your level. Like I wouldn't criticize it in that way. It's just that the 4 gate is specifically good at punishing people who make macro mistakes, people who forget probes, people who forget pylons. If that happens, and it happens a lot at gold and silver, let's face it, it's going to be pretty effective. So I wouldn't necessarily look down on the build for that reason. I don't think it's bad to do, but yeah, yeah. Any thoughts from people in the chat? If you want to throw them out there. For now, I will ask you guys again. You have any other specific things, like if you want to ask your opponent stuff he was doing in the game, like any specific questions, now's a good time.
I got nothing.
Yeah, one other thing I forgot to mention is though, well, never mind.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, never mind. It doesn't work. Never mind.
Oh, wow. You made me all
Oh, well.
curious, and I can't do anything about that. Darn.
Sorry.
Well,
My bad.
I suppose I did the same thing earlier. Actually, one thing I did think, Goro, and it just seemed like from my perspective, because I found that this will work for me sometimes, is like the 4-gate is one idea, but 3-gate into Oracle, and then if you see him starting to get like a lot of immortals as a response, holy crap, the stream is just dying.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, the call's getting a little bit iffy too.
Yeah.
Shoot. Probably somebody got on the computer downstairs and started using the internet. That's usually going to cause this. But anyway, as I was about to say, we'll have a fine local recording, so it's okay. The if you can get up to about 4 to 6 void rays and they don't scout that, you will actually be able to run over the army that they make, even on 2 bases.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like if you can get to the point where you get rid of the stalkers, there's no other anti-air. So if they have a bunch of Colossus and Immortals, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think I had.
And obviously, in the other direction, FRIEDDIRT, beware of this. It can happen. Use those Phoenixes, scout. Although you had the Observer there, that was really good. That was another thing that happened.
Yeah.
So I think you were already aware of this. But anyway, I do not know if the call's gonna. I don't know if the stream's gonna stabilize. So thanks for playing.
Yeah, it's starting to lag really bad.
Thanks for playing, guys. And well, I guess we'll just go ahead and end it off
No
here.
problem.
And I will see you guys in an hour when we start the next show match.
All right.
Cool.
See you.
Later.